So one of the things that happens quite a bit to people, especially people who work and use their hands all day to type or to hold pens or to manipulate or lift or anything like that, is we will get a lot of tightness in our flexor muscles in our hands, fingers, all of that. And so one of the things that I wanted to do is just kind of go over some stretches you could do for your hands and fingers that might help to start to mobilize them a little bit, help maybe to stretch out some sore muscles and things like that. It's just the wrist flexors we're stretching. It's just the hand stretchers. The extensors are a little bit different story. Most of the time people get more tone in the flexors, so I just kind of want to go over some stretches you can do for your hand and wrist. First one is wrist extension. You can place your hand like so. You want to get a hold of your fingers because we want to stretch the finger flexors. Now the finger flexors, they originate right up here and they come all the way down through the carpal tunnel and into your wrist. And so we want to stretch that whole sequence. So wrist, fingers, everything. So you're just going to take and you're just going to pull back like so. Usually I'll hold for a few seconds and then relax. That's just one way to start kind of getting your wrist flexors to start to mobilize a little bit. So you do have a group of muscles that are intrinsic to your hand. You have your interossei and you have your lumbricals. So the interossei, the volar interossei, they're going to adduct your fingers, and they sometimes when you will close your fingers down at this joint right here. So to stretch those, we're going to open your fingers all the way, and then we're just going to kind of push. Now you only have 3 volar interossei, and so they're going to close this finger down, close this finger down, close this finger down. So index, ring, and small, and they kind of run on the insides here. So to stretch them, we want to kind of go between each finger. So basically, if you just take these 4 fingers and you go between and stretch out, you will stretch out the volar interossei. Okay? So that's the next exercise. Okay? Now let's talk about the lumbricals. The lumbricals are a muscle that goes volar to this finger, but volar to this joint, but dorsal to this joint. So to stretch them, I'm going to take and I'm going to make a hook fist like this. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to go backwards with that fist. And just hold. You might not feel a lot with this one, but sometimes if these muscles are really tight and they've been used a lot, and you're kind of doing a movement like this quite a bit, these will get really, really tight. So now let's talk about our thumb a little bit, because you have a bunch of muscles right here in your thumb that kind of close down your thumb, things like that. You also have a muscle here that kind of brings that thumb closer together. And so stretching out the thumb and stretching out these thenar muscles are really, really important. So the first one that I have people do is you're going to hold your hand like you're opening a glass or holding a glass of water, and you're just going to open like so. So you're going to take your opposite hand and kind of stretch that hand out like this. That's number 1. So another thing that sometimes tends to happen is these muscles get tight and we can't get our thumb up like so. So we were going to stretch like so. Okay? Almost like you're hitchhiking. And you're just going to open up like you're hitchhiking. Sometimes you can pull back like this a little bit, and that will help. Okay? The last motion at your thumb that does greatly help is going to be an extension. So I'm going to hold my hand, I might set it on a table or set it on a pad, and I'm just going to lift my thumb up like this. Another exercise we can do for this, and one I like to give people quite a bit, is you take and you hold your hand like you're going to hold a plate or serve a platter. You take your other hand, you hook around, and you pull backwards like so. And that's a good thumb extension exercise. So those are the exercises that you can try to help to mobilize your wrist and finger flexors, and hopefully with a lot of repetitive activity that can relax things a little bit. One of the other things that you can do is a little bit of massage. You have a muscle right here, first dorsal interossei, the adductor pollicis. Those 2 muscles kind of run right through here, and they get very, very tight on people quite a bit. So sometimes you can take and just get right in here and kind of massage. One of the other things that I tend to have people do, especially if that gets really, really tight, is get one of those chip clips you have around the house, and you take and you just put it right here, and you just let it sit for like 15 minutes or so. And what that does is that puts a little bit of pressure on the muscle and tries to help it relax and kind of massage it out a little bit. So that's one of the other strategies for relaxing those muscles that kind of make up that web space between your thumb and index finger. So good luck with your stretches.